today we're talking about why learning how to make courageous decisions is a complete game changer.
Hey love, you're listening to the Mums in Biz Show and I'm Nick Torrey. Every week I'll bring you the unvarnished version of what it means to be a mum running a brilliant business, what you need to be doing to get it to where you want it to be, and a healthy dose of how to get the heck out of your own way. Let's dive in.
Hey there, I'm Nick Torrey. You're watching the Mums in Biz Show. And now I've been talking a lot lately about what goes on up in your noggin, mindset, your thought life, and what all of this means for your business. Tell me, have you been sticking with me? There is a reason for it. Hands down, the number one thing that holds you back from taking informed and inspired action on the areas that you need to in your business is the stuff that goes on between your ears. And I get the feeling that people get a bit tired of hearing that. I mean, it's everywhere at the moment. The online world is covered with content telling you what to do to grow your business. I do it too. So what I've been trying to do is show you how you can become the most empowered version of yourself so that you're able to make the right choices and decisions for yourself. See, for the most part, and there are a few exceptions for sure, all of the advice that's out there will work for someone. And you need to be able to make informed decisions about whether you are one of those someones or not, whether that piece of advice is right for your business or not. Does that make sense? I'm not talking about whether each individual tactic will work for you or won't work for you. I'm talking about knowing your business and having a strategy in place so that you are able to determine whether or not a particular tactic is right within the business that you're building. And the most important part of that is the not bit. That's where the courageous decision making really starts to come in. What I really think is that the things that you choose to say no to are more important than the ones that you say yes to. Actually, saying yes to something is taking the easy way out. It's pretty easy to say yes to something once you get going in business. You feel like you're going all in, and therefore that means that you need to be hustling and sacrificing and taking on all the things, because isn't that what you need to do to get ahead? Or maybe you've put yourself in the bucket that has you just expecting that you're not going to make money for a while and you have to do your business alongside your corporate, not to mention mum life. And so that's guiding the decisions that you're making. Believe it or not, this often leads to one of two extremes. You're either bootstrapping your business and not making the investments that you actually need to make to scale to where you need it to be, or you go in the opposite direction and you're spending way more than you need to and over-investing by overwhelming yourself with tools and outsourced providers and expensive solutions and an abundance of courses. So both of these routes mean that your business is going to take an age to be able to support you, and you're likely to burn out before you get there. But it can be super scary in your earlier stages and when you're a bit further on, but wanting to up-level your revenue, to say no to things. This is a sign that your head is getting in the way. Fear means that you're stepping outside of your comfort zone or trying to, and that you're feeling really insecure about the results. I reckon that one of the hardest things to do in business is learning to let go of the result that you're after. Learning how not to care if you don't hit the goal, because the learning that you're going to get on the path to trying to hit it is just as important. And that's especially true when the desperation starts to sink in. And you know what I mean, that slightly panicked feeling that maybe this isn't going to work. So this is what courageous decision making is all about. It's the courage to say no. It's the courage to trust your instincts. And P.S., your instincts are the first thing to go hide when you start to feel fear. Courage to say yes when you need to say yes. The courage to know when a decision is required, even if it is just to decide to keep going on the path that you're on. That's still a choice, a conscious choice that you have to make. Courage to stick to your strategy. courage to admit when you don't know the answer to something, courage to not be perfect all the time. Are you starting to get the idea here? Now, I know that even listening to this could be causing your gut to tighten up a little. I mean, how on earth are you going to be able to do that? You don't even know if your business is going to work. I love bringing this back to mum life though, because the whole reason that I love working with mums in corporate is because you've already made that transition, or at least partly, through completely changing the way that you think, feel, and act at least once in your life. Having a child completely changes how you think and how you show up, and having a business demands the exact same thing of you. You more intuitively follow your instincts when you're looking after your kids. And when you don't follow your instincts is usually when things go a bit pear-shaped, and you always come back to knowing exactly what it is that's needed. Now, don't get me wrong, while my instincts might be right 90% of the time, I can't always follow them. I'm definitely not a saint mama, and my emotions, tiredness, busyness, all of that gets in the way plenty. But I still knew what my instincts were telling me, which was half the battle. Because half of the battle is actually even recognizing what those instincts are in the first place. Making the shift to trusting yourself as the CEO of your business is absolutely essential to being able to make that step change and starting to make the courageous decisions that you need to be making. So, how can you make the right decisions in your business? Well, let's be super clear here. A decision is only ever right in the moment that you make it. Some of them will turn out to be mistakes, which is actually essential for growth in your business. In fact, finding the courage to make a decision in a moment, even if it might turn out to be the wrong one, or maybe just not the perfectly optimal one, is one of the most amazing things that you can do. Most small business owners let the fear of making the decision keep them stuck. That's why businesses don't make money, because you aren't learning, you aren't building your understanding of your ideal client and what they really need, and you aren't taking steps to get out of the busyness of startup when you sit in that space. The most powerful thing that I have learned is that done truly is better than perfect. As long as you're paying attention to the results, asking questions, and improving. I literally can't control every tiny aspect of my business. And trying to stay in that place was exhausting me. I was running out of inspiration. I was resenting the things that I had to do every week to keep things moving. And the best decision that I made was to bring on my part-time VA. It was life-changing. And it's been gloriously imperfect, let me tell you. It's scary that my perfectionist self doesn't have control over every little thing that goes out. But do you want to know what's better than all of that? Getting notifications about things that have been done or posted or whatever in my business that I didn't have to do. So maybe you don't feel like you're ready for help. That is a big decision. Part of it is having the right structures in place in your business, having measures that you check so that you know how things are going and where to focus your time and effort to get the best bang for your buck. Sometimes the right decision is setting in place the goals that you're going to strive for. Having the courage to admit to yourself what you actually want, rather than the moderated down version of your goals. And then to write it down and tell someone about it. You can tell us, this community, we keep it between us, I promise. And then all you got to do is make a plan. Decide to keep putting one foot in front of the other and take action every single day. Oh, and be really clear about what you're not going to do. Actually, if you take only one thing away from today's show, I'd love that it be how to strip away all of the busyness and just focus on one thing. Make that choice to focus on one thing. The one thing that is going to move you towards your goal the fastest. The one thing that is your 5% of activities. This also means, though, that you have to know what that one thing is. Get back to the basics of your business strategy, or create one if you don't have one already. so that you're operating in the most effective and connected way possible. Let's be honest, if you aren't connected with your business purpose, then you're probably too far away from where you need to be, and you're likely not feeling the love for your little enterprise either.
And that's a wrap for today's episode. If you enjoy listening to the Mums in Biz show, I would love for you to leave us a review on iTunes, and be sure to post a snap of you enjoying the show on Instagram and tag me at nicole.tuerick. You can also join in the conversation with me in the Mums in Biz tribe on Facebook. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode of the Mums in Biz show.